Welcome to Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. I'm Rob Wilson.
And I am Tony Luquano.
So, Tony, let's talk about one of those classic 90s movies that really, it's not talked about enough nowadays.
It's not. It's interesting because it's getting a remake this year.
Is it a remake or a sequel?
It's not. Well, that's a good question because originally they wanted Stallone to be in it, and he's not.
To reprise his character.
I don't know
not.
if they readjusted what's happening with that. So,
yeah.
I just know that Liam Neeson is in
it. And so is James Bond.
Oh, they are calling it Cliffhanger 2. So, wait, no, this is Cliffhanger 2026 film. So, as a reboot. So, is it just a reboot?
Okay.
I'm trying to, at least Wikipedia is claiming it as a reboot.
Okay. It's got Pierce Brosnan in it.
I think originally it was going to be a sequel. I think they wanted a sequel to this way back in the 90s. It never happened.
Of course they did, because 90s, I mean, every
action movie
style of movie
had a sequel.
Had a sequel of varying degrees of quality.
And it's got, as you've just said, and if you're in the know, you probably already picked up on what movie it is, but it's got Sylvester Stallone in it.
Yes, we've got Stallone in it. This is Cliffhanger from 1993. We are not talking about the 2026 Cliffhanger that is not out yet on this episode. This is the 1993 Cliffhanger.
In terms of 90s vehicles of his that were action movies that were like original, was Cliffhanger and probably like Judge Dredd would be like the two most common, but I think this one in some ways has got overshadowed by some of the action movies of the 90s that came later in the mid to late 90s. Some that we've done like Con Air and The Rock.
Yeah.
That just get even bigger and bolder than what this does. But this is in that wheelhouse of that early 90s, Die Hard on a blank. Where you just get ridiculous.
Yep. And it's great. It's great.
And, directed by someone that was from the Die Hard universe, Rennie Harlin, who directed Die Hard 2, who would later direct another amazing 90s movie called Deep Blue Sea.
Yes.
And has remained fairly active, to be honest. And this one has a lot of really fun spots in it. I think it's probably a little too long by about 15 minutes or so.
Yeah,
it probably has a few excess characters. I feel like at times where it just gets to be a little too much a little drawn out between the scenes.
Yeah.
But it has some over-the-top villains. In fact, I would say the henchmen actually overshadow our main bad guy in this movie.
Now,
outside the ridiculously bad accent.
Yeah, I mean, John Lithgow is a very underrated villain. I enjoy his turns as villains and stuff in movies or TV or whatever. He does a very good villain. However, in this movie, why did he have to have a British accent?
I do not get why you have to make him British in this movie. Did they just figure that, Alan Rickman was an Englishman that played a German, so let's get an American to play an Englishman?
Yeah. What?
And it sadly, like, it's the one thing that doesn't quite all match up because he tries to take the role a little more seriously. When this movie's completely camp.
But every time he opens his mouth, that accent comes out. Now, I mean, to his credit, he keeps the accent no matter how bad it is. He keeps going with it. He doesn't break the accent.
He does not break he does not break the accent.
The way that Kate Blanchett breaks it in Indiana Jones Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
John Lithgow, he's a respected actor, so he's not gonna deviate off that once he starts it.
So
Fun fact about it, he was not going to be. He originally was going to be the secondary antagonist.
Really?
Not the main.
Okay.
The main antagonist was originally going to play, and I think they
was it going to be Harry?
Restructured the character a bit. Was going to be played by Christopher Walken.
Oh, okay.
And he had to back out, and so they elevated Lithgow to be the main, and I think then they kind of restructured that character a little bit. I could totally
see Lithgow being a secondary villain to Christopher Walken.
Yes. Instead, you have Rex Linn being the secondary villain, John Lithgow. And hey, this is our second Rex Linn movie.
Yeah.
You know?
We also talked about
he was not a villain in the first one.
In Breakdown.
He does play a law enforcement officer in both.
He plays a law enforcement officer in just about every movie he's in.
Yes. Until he started doing some TV stuff and was the owner of a bank in Better Call Saul. So,
yeah.
But yeah, he's almost always some type of law enforcement officer. So, like in Clear and Present Danger, where he's one of the detectives, right? You know, it's
because he's got the cop mustache.
With the cop stash, exactly.
He's got the cop stash, and so he's kind of typecast because of that.
Like even here, like they, obviously this movie takes place in the snow, and so most of the movie he is all bundled up, and he plays a federal agent also. So you don't see him like in Breakdown where he's got his sheriff uniform on, right? You don't see him. He's in a suit instead. Right. But he still looks like, it's like, he looks like a federal law enforcement officer. And I almost forgot how many other people were in this movie.
We got Paul
Even
Winfield.
In like small roles.
We got Paul Winfield.
Paul Winfield was the first one he was going to say next.
With Terminator.
Paul Winfield.
Like we talked about him with Terminator.
And it's been over 20 years since I've seen this movie. Well, okay. Well, I've seen scenes of this movie here or there. It's always hard to ignore seeing certain scenes of this movie, but I've not watched the entire movie in over 20 years.
So, go ahead.
I mean, and his role is fairly small, and so it's not one of those scenes that would jump out as you're flipping the channel and find on TV. Anyway, go on.
Now, before watching it for the podcast, I don't think I'd ever actually seen the whole movie from start to finish. I've seen parts of the movie a bunch of times on TV. Enough probably to piece it all together. But I don't know that I've actually sat down and watched it from start to finish.
Yeah, I know I've seen it start to finish at least once. I thought maybe a second time. I remember watching this movie several years after it came out, with one of our favorite guests, Tim Robinson, at his house with his parents at a sleepover. We sat down, we watched Cliffhanger.
Nice.
So it was a few years after it came out. Yes. But there's several scenes, like the opening scene is very iconic.
Yeah.
So much that it got spoofed in Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. But yeah, it's one of those ones you could piece together, like you were saying, that you've seen here or there, that you've basically seen the entire movie.
Yeah.
Even if you haven't sat down to watch it the whole way through.
Yeah. But actually, I watched it twice for the podcast.
Okay.
Watched it yesterday and then also again today, just to make sure, because when I was watching it last night, my attention was kind of other places, so I couldn't pay 100% attention to it. So I wanted to watch it again today to make sure that I didn't miss anything last night when I watched it.
When I watched it a few nights ago, Nicole watched the last half of it with me, and she was not a fan.
She doesn't like 1993 Stallone. She doesn't like a movie with probably the most accurate title of any movie that's ever been made.
Well, yes, except it doesn't end on a cliffhanger.
No, it doesn't end on a cliffhanger. But it does have people hanging from cliffs the entire movie.
The entire movie.
There are a lot of people that hang from cliffs in this movie.
There were a lot. Yes. There's a lot of people that glide off of cliffs in this movie.
Yes.
That wish they could hang from a cliff.
I mean, they could have just, instead of naming his character Gabe Walker, they could have just named Stallone's character Cliffhanger. Because he does a lot. He in particular does a lot of hanging from cliffs.
Just lean right into that. It's like, you mean your name is Cliffhanger? Well, technically it's Clifford, but
technically Cliffhanger's a nickname. My name's Gabe Walker, but they call me Cliffhanger. But I did really enjoy at the beginning of the movie. It's not really a spoiler, so I'll say it right now that they refer to him as Ranger Walker once.
In the eyes of a stranger. Or the eyes of a ranger. The unsuspected stranger.
You better know the truth from wrong from right.
Wrong from right.
Because the eyes of the ranger are upon you.
So just like we could do like a Touched by an Angel, Murder, She Wrote podcast.
Oh yeah, we could do a Walker, Texas Ranger one. We should do a Walker, Texas Ranger one. That'd be awesome.
We'll go episode by episode.
Mm-hmm. That would be awesome.
So, one of the other actors that's in here, it's in a very small role that I had no idea was in this, was Bruce McGill.
Yes.
Plenty of typical Bruce McGill type character. He plays a law enforcement officer in a lot of movies too.
Yes, he does. And we also have Ralph Waite from the Waltons. We have Leon Robinson from Cool Runnings, which is a movie we've talked about doing. Mm-hmm.
Which I did not know he was in this either.
I didn't realize he was in this either, but I love his character in this. He's just so over the top.
He is.
It's so great.
Probably my favorite of the henchmen. And it's appropriate. He gets the most memorable death.
Yes.
But you have to wait for that.
Yep.
You got Janine Turner, if you're a Northern Exposure or Friday Night Lights fan, right?
Michael Rooker. We haven't mentioned him yet.
Michael Rooker, who has been briefly in a movie we've done.
Mm-hmm.
In the most recent Superman update.
Yep. He was the voice of one of the
He's a voice in that. We have not done any movies where he's been one of the featured actors or been not, non-voice role. So, but and he got that. I mean, that's, we talked about that since he's obviously worked a lot during Guardians. Who else? There's one other I'm going to say. Oh, you talked about Michelle Joyner and her IMDb headshot as a nun.
Yep. And Don S. Davis has a small part in this.
Yes. Yeah. One of the other names I noticed in here was Vito Ruganis. And what was the movie I was going to mention about him? Oh, Broken Arrow. He was in Broken Arrow. Is what I was thinking about him being in.
I keep thinking that should be a movie that we do sometime. We should cover Broken Arrow. We've mentioned it several times, and I have
several spots we can bring that into. I think
so. I think maybe we should do that one sometime.
Another glorious '90s action movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Max Perlich was in this. You mentioned Frank Wright already. So yeah, it's, a number of people. We mentioned there's Rennie Harlan that directed it, and
we can't forget about Thor. Thor's in it. The dog.
Thor the dog. Yes,
Thor the dog.
We saw that earlier.
A dog named Thor.
Good name for a dog.
Yep.
Named Thor well before. I mean, maybe he was named after the comic book character, which is named after the Norse god, but this is obviously well before the MCU.
Maybe he was just named after the Norse god.
Maybe.
But also the comic book character was out way before this dog was born. So it might have been named after the comic book character.
One of the things I noticed was like the music. Like,
yes.
I don't know why. Because maybe it's because like the opening shot, and we'll get to it, is over the mountains and they had the score is very prominent. So it's very easy to focus on the music. And it seems like it's not your typical action movie music.
No.
So it's like, okay,
kind of the mountain shots with the music kind of reminded me of the Lord of the Rings when they're going over
well,
the
that's
mountains.
the thing. The music fits the mountains.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, oh yes, this like if I was like doing something a screensaver for like and showing different pictures of mountains around the world, like okay, let's put some nice music to go with that, right? This would be appropriate. So I had to look up the composer. His name is Trevor Jones, and he did the score for Excalibur, The Dark Crystal, Labyrinth, Arachnophobia, The Last of the Mohicans, G.I. Jane, Dark City, The Mighty, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He had done the score for iRobot, but they rejected his for some reason, I guess. So he's actually done quite a few well-known movies.
Okay.
He's beyond Cliffhanger, right?
And yeah,
we're talking about this.
You mentioned, a couple of them toward the beginning there. It's very similar to some of those.
Yes.
Some of those, to a bunch of those movies. It's definitely the same composer.
And then we have Alex Thompson doing the cinematography, since we're talking about some of the scenery shots. And anything interesting? There was one movie I thought I saw when I was looking them up that was of note. Oh, well, around that same time, Alien 3 and Demolition Man, another Stallone flick.
Mm-hmm. Another Stallone flick that we've got to do sometime.
He did Legend and Raw Deal as well. Oh, and he worked on Excalibur also. He was nominated for an Academy Award for Excalibur. So, just a couple of the other people kind of working on some of the movies. I mean, it's a movie that definitely relies a lot on its cinematography.
Yeah, definitely.
But then also, we should make this too. I had it up at one point. We should also bring up Wolfgang Gulak, who is Stallone's stunt double in this movie. Because it's a movie that has a lot of stunts. Because this movie, like we said, literally has people hanging from rocks and cliffs the entire movie. But,
yes, it does.
Yeah, Wolfgang was a world-class rock climber, and so he is the one that supplied the stunts for Stallone. It's not a movie that used your typical stunt doubles, right? This one you had to use additional professionals for some of the things.
Well, Mark D'Alessandro was his stunt double. Wolfgang Gulak was his climbing double.
Okay, the climbing double. Yes, that's a better way to differentiate. Yeah, to split it off.
And then it looks like it looks like Stallone had a couple of stunt doubles, plus the climbing double.
Which makes sense.
He also had Jeff Ohako, or Ohiko, however you pronounce that. Sorry if I'm butchering it.
And it's a movie that uses like a lot of stunts, like beyond just scenes with Stallone. There's another few key sequences that actually have nothing to do with cliffs that need did a great job with the stunts. Like, this is the type of movie, like, if a long time they've talked about having a category for best stunts at the Oscars, right?
Mm-hmm.
This probably would have won. Well, Jurassic Park was that year too, but still, no, this would have won hands down.
Yeah, I mean, this movie was full of stunts.
But yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen this, and on the whole, I mostly enjoyed it. I think the only thing I would say is like it probably could be tightened up a little bit.
Yep.
There's a few characters that are definitely dated. That you probably could have cut their scenes out and would have been fine, I think.
Yeah, I mean this movie definitely would have been better at closer to like the 90-minute mark.
Yes.
Than almost 2 hours. It's just a couple minutes shy of 2 hours. And
because on the whole, like I don't have a huge problem with the plot, right? It's a pretty basic plot, but it's enough of a plot to drive an action-oriented movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Bad guys want money.
Bad guys want it. They rob something, they lose it, they want to go find it.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to use these experts
standard
to
90s
help them find it.
Plot.
Right? Nice and straightforward, right? You don't have to, that part you don't have to suspend a lot of believability, and that's fine. Right? You can be over the top and like suspended about certain things. With the plot, you want to at least be invested on that.
Yeah.
And the characters. And like, Stallone, you like Stallone's character in this. Stallone does a good job with this type of role.
Yeah, he does. He does. And you believe the tension between him and Michael Rooker, but then also you believe the trust between them.
Yeah, well, you believe that they're these long time, not just co-workers, but friends.
Friends, yeah.
That their relationship has gone sideways because of something. And you can see that Stallone wants that to be repaired.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's really not up to him. It's up to Michael Rooker's character, which we'll get to.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we talk about it.
But yeah, I don't know if I have a whole lot else to talk about with it before we dive into it.
Then I say let's dive into it. Let's hang off this cliff.
Or it's hang on it.
I love how, real quick, I love how just like the poster for this movie just says hang on.
Oh, yes. It's a great poster. Like the DVD cover I remember is the one of just him hanging from like a zip line with mountains behind him, right? Yeah. And then you have some that have like a quote, right? But I think it's just better. I think the one that says "hang on."
Yeah, the one that just says "hang on," and then in small letters it says "cliffhanger."
Which they could have called the movie "Hang On." Also,
they could have. They could have. They yell enough. They yell "hang on" enough.
Some hang on, some do not.
Yep. Some hang on as long as they can, but can't hang on long enough. Anyway,
so
let's talk about this movie.
Let's do it.
As always, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about this entire movie, beginning, middle, and end. So if you have not seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, pause the podcast, watch the movie, and come back and listen. If you have seen it or you just don't mind being spoiled, keep on listening, but you have been warned. We're going to be talking about this movie that is a little over 30 years old now.
A little over 30 years old, yes. And has now has a reboot coming out, so.
Mm-hmm. Which I think it's fitting that the reboot stars Pierce Brosnan.
Yes.
Because this movie, I mean, it's from the same era of movies. But it kind of at parts kind of has some Dante's Peak vibes.
I thought the same thing. Yes. Not just because it takes place in the mountains.
No. But no, there are some parts of this movie that actually have a very strong Dante's Peak feel to them.
It somehow it worked out perfectly that we were doing both movies around the same time of year.
Mm-hmm.
There is no one obsessed with coffee in this movie.
No, there's no one obsessed with coffee.
But hey, they don't have really time for that because most of this movie takes place in the wilderness.
Yeah. But there are a couple of random extreme sports nuts, though.
Yes. But, that are definitely very early 90s caricatures.
They're very early 90s surfer dude caricatures.
It's funny. Like, I thought, when I think about the characters, and we're talking about there being a reboot, like, if you were going to try to make a purposefully campy, like, 90s, like, throwback type movie, you would create two characters like this.
Yes.
And they somehow actually ended up in a movie in the 90s by themselves. Even though, anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, we start out with that classic TriStar logo.
Yes, that's the first thing we're about. TriStar.
Horse running up, music playing, the horse runs up, and then sprouts wings and flies over the TriStar logo, the triangle.
Yes.
I love that logo. That was probably.
I love that logo.
That logo is probably my favorite, like production logo
of that
era. Yeah.
Yes. For some reason, that one.
So many movies that I watched when I was a kid had that, and it was fantastic.
Fantastic. I know we mentioned it before, and it's always worth mentioning again.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's I think it's of an era that we are formed by.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and so we get into it. So
that and the classic Universal flying around the world logo.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So after we get the unicorn or the Pegasus going through, and we go straight into the mountains that we talked about. We have the music and again the shots of the mountains, and we're cutting between a helicopter flying around, and they're talking on the radio, and also shots of someone just
climbing up the side
hanging
of a cliff.
Hanging from a cliff. Climbing up a cliff. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the movie starts out with a cliffhanger. I mean, come on.
Yes.
It starts with somebody hanging from a cliff.
It's a sunny day out, right? And you can see that they're flying all around these mountains. And they filmed most of this movie, not in the Colorado Rockies where it takes place, but in the Italian Alps and the Dolomites. So,
So you're telling me that if I go to Colorado, I cannot climb these rocks?
No, you have to go to Italy.
A little bit more expensive of a trip, but okay.
So I know the Olympics next month will be in the Italian Alps. I mean the skating and the Olympic Village is going to be in Milan, which is not in the Alps, but a lot of the Alpine other stuff will be up there in the Alps. So I have no idea if it'll be close to where they filmed this. So you might see it on TV.
So some of the skiing could be done in the snowy areas of this movie?
Potentially.
Awesome. So what they should do is when they're filming filming the events like for the Olympics, they should just randomly have Stallone hanging from a cliff behind him.
I like it.
Even if they have to digitally put him in there. Just for the viewers at home.
You might have to digitally do it.
Just for the viewers on TV. The people who are there wouldn't actually see him.
It'd be kind of like Where's Waldo? You have to just find Where's Stallone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, just stick them in there. Stick them in there like the lines they put on the football field on TV.
Yes.
Or like first down and
there's
the
not
line of scrimmage
actual
and stuff.
first down.
Yeah, there's not an actual yellow line going across the field or a blue line for the line of scrimmage. They put that on there for TV for the viewers at home. Just put Stallone hanging from a cliff.
Yeah. Occasionally, maybe he decides to ride something down the hill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which we'll get to that scene.
He just decides to pull a John McClane.
And literally, someone has a sled.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
We'll get to that, yes. We'll get to that. That's a fun scene.
Instead, right now, we got a helicopter and we got a cliffhanger. And the helicopter, you can tell there's the pilot and someone else are talking on the radio, and they're searching for somebody, right?
Yeah.
And it's apparent that, you have the helicopter is searching for some stranded people, and then you have this cliffhanger that is attempting to help rescue them as well. So
you have the people coming in from the air, and then he's coming in from the ground.
Yes.
He's climbing up.
And what we will find out very shortly is that one of the people stranded is another one of his fellow Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Another cliffhanger.
Another member of the Rocky Mountain Rescue Crew.
This is Michael Rooker playing Ranger Hal Tucker.
Yep.
And in the helicopter, we have Ranger Jesse, who is Gabe's girlfriend,
Jesse DeHaan,
who's Stallone's girlfriend,
played by Janine Turner.
And then you also have the pilot, Frank.
played by Ralph Waite.
And you can tell the four of them pretty quickly. Like, they're not just like co-workers. They're all really good friends.
Yes. Yeah.
They have a very good rapport with each other. They're comfortable with each other.
Yes.
But so Michael Rooker, or Hal, he has taken one of his new girlfriend up climbing, and they've gotten stranded on this little peak that's kind of this big rock formation that kind of like juts up by itself.
Yes, it's this rock formation they call the tower.
Yes. Because it's like a tower. And you can climb it and get to the top, and then you climb back down, or maybe you're a base jump, whatever it might be. But they're not able to climb back down now. They're stranded at the top of the tower.
Because Hal has injured his knee.
Yes, that's what it is. He injured his knee. Thank you.
He injured his knee. That was he basically just re-aggravated a previous injury on his knee.
And so he's up there with his new girlfriend, Sarah.
Played by Michelle Joyner.
And now, Gabe has finished climbing up the tower, and they're there together. And the helicopter is there nearby, right, hovering. And they determined that it's too windy for them just to lower a winch and then kind of pull them up.
So, see, this is what I don't know if I believe that.
I don't believe it either, but it makes an amazing scene.
But it does. It makes for an amazing scene. Yes, you are right. It makes for an iconic, memorable scene.
But I agree. I call BS. I call shenanigans.
Yeah, it's not too windy because they are not too much lower than they would be flying.
No.
And they're hovering completely still.
And
they're not wavering at all.
Frank is flying. No, Jesse's flying at this time. Frank is waiting to receive them.
Yeah.
And he is hanging on the outside of the helicopter.
Yeah.
Right? He's got a hold on, inside, but he's standing, on the outside of the helicopter to receive them. He would not be standing on the outside.
No.
Like that if it was too windy.
Mm-hmm.
He would be fully inside the helicopter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they're going to zip line across instead of lowering a winch, which would be the far safer way of doing things.
Not so much zip line, but they're going to, make their way across the
correct
line.
But the winch, which is the more standard way of rescuing people like a situation like this, it's very safe, right?
Well, it's very safe for most people.
Yes, most people. But anyway, it makes for a great scene. So
yeah,
now
makes for
the
a
other
very
thing that's interesting about this
nail-biting scene
is that Sarah's nervous being up there.
Yeah,
which makes sense. She doesn't climb.
Yeah. She's not a very experienced climber. I'm kind of surprised she let Hal take her up there.
Well, Gabe asked her this question. Right? And, he convinced me that it's better than making love.
Yeah, true.
So, but again,
she said, he said,
I don't know if I would be that easily convinced, but she does it. And what's interesting about this is that Hal decides to go first.
Well,
he just goes flying through it.
Gabe points out Hal's knee injury.
That's right.
And he tells him that he remembers when he twisted it getting out of a hot tub.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
And Sarah's like, wait, you told me you heard it in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And Gabe just laughed. And Hal just shot Gabe a pissed off look. That was just a little funny exchange before they go across there. Then you have just your typical, rescuer trying to lighten
bravado.
The mood, kind of, with the scared people being rescued. He's because they all know each other, so he's kind of Stallone's kind of flirting a little bit with Sarah, and just to sort of lighten the mood a little bit. And meanwhile, Jessie, Stallone's girlfriend, Gabe's girlfriend, keeps calling over the radio. If you're hitting on her, you're walking home. You're climbing back down and you're walking home. Sleeping outside.
So Hal gets over, right? He doesn't tell say ladies first. He just goes.
No, he goes on there and then he pretends like he's falling.
Yes.
He kind of just jumps off the cliff.
So
and then makes his way over.
Yeah, Sarah's turn. And she's got this like stuffed bear that she has.
It's a little stuffed puppy. And it's kind of tucked in her belt.
Puppy. And so she starts going across, and she's going much slower, right? Which I totally get, right? You're going across between this cliff and the helicopter with
dangling thousands of feet in the air.
Feet, yeah. And so she's going slowly across, right? And they all tell her, "Oh, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job."
Right? Gabe is up there. He's like, "Just keep looking at me. Don't look down, and just look at me." If she starts looking away, he's like, "No, I told you. Look at me. Look at me. You got me. You're doing great. You're doing great. Just a little bit farther." And then we see one of the clasps on her harness break.
Start breaking. It slowly does, and then as she gets about halfway across, it completely breaks.
And all of her straps kind of get pulled through, and now she's just hanging onto the harness just with her hand dangling from the cable. And
there's some disagreement at first. Hal wants to go out.
No, Hal wants to send her his harness.
That's what it is, yes.
So Gabe wants to actually go out and get her. Hal wants to send his harness because Hal knows, and Gabe knows too, but Hal knows that the cable is only rated for one person's weight. So if somebody else goes out there, there's a good chance it'll snap and they'll both die. But I mean, I get Hal's thinking, send her the harness. But is she really going to be able to get that harness on while she's dangling precariously over a gorge?
Right. Which is kind of like Gabe's point, and Gabe's like, I'm going to get that out there quicker, and then we can figure out the rest from there and get both of us safely to the chopper.
Yeah, get to the chopper.
So he gets out there, and then, she starts slipping, and he's able to catch her as she's starting to actually slip.
Yeah, and so he's hanging on to her, and she's wearing these gloves. Loose gloves,
yes.
And so they're, so he's still
the stuffed puppy has fallen at this point.
The stuffed puppy has fallen.
Puppy has fallen,
and which my guess is that puppy's probably fine when it hits the ground.
It is rather soft, yes.
But
Hal is yelling at Gabe like, "Don't you drop her?"
Understandably so.
Yes.
But Gabe is holding on. He's trying to get her to give him her other hand. And Jesse's yelling out to her, just reach up, grab him.
Just reach up.
And eventually, her grip starts slipping from him. And Gabe is holding on as tight as he can. And then... But the problem is he's holding onto her hand because she has slipped. He was originally holding onto her wrist, but she slipped down. And now he's holding her hand. And she's wearing that glove with the loose glove. And her hand slips out of the glove. And then we get a nice long shot of her falling.
Yes. No, we don't just she's in the drop and then it cuts. Like,
no, she drops. And then we see her falling.
You see her face and screaming. Then you get like cuts, Stallone's like point of view first, and then we get a wider shot of her just falling.
And when she's falling, she's yelling, "Gabe, Gabe!" And you see Stallone's reaction to it. Then you see Michael Rooker's reaction to it, and then you go back to her, and she's falling still.
Yes. They got back to her falling.
Like they want you to know. She's not going to fly away.
There's no eagle that's going to swoop in.
There's no too excited trampoline guy waiting under her to catch her.
Now, we avoid the gory details, thankfully.
Yes. So she falls, and there are some rocks from the mountain that are blocking, her, watching her fall all the way to the ground. So we don't actually see what happens when she hits the ground, but it's pretty clear she didn't make it.
Much messier than Hans Gruber falling 30-some stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so iconic scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it's well shot. So
yeah.
So but from there, right?
From there, we're going to cut
8 months later to the Denver Treasury.
Yes, the Denver Department of Treasury.
Right.
8 months later.
And we're specifically looking where they are printing off bills.
Printing off a bunch of $1,000 bills.
Yes. And they go ahead, they make the explanation. Yeah, these don't get put in the general circulation. They're used between different transfers of banks or whatever for large, transfers and such forth.
For large sums of money.
One of the heads here is Paul Winfield. Right?
He plays Walter Wright.
Walter Wright.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like the name of someone to be confused. In charge.
Not to be confused with Walter White from Breaking Bad.
Yes, that'd be Bryan Cranston.
Yes.
But one of his main agents is played by Rex Linn.
Mm-hmm. Richard Travers.
Richard Travers,
Agent
right?
Travers.
And he oversees when they are flying this money, to different locales to then be distributed, right? Yep. So he's in charge of protecting these shipments.
Yeah. So basically, they're getting these 3 cases that are the money that's in the 3 cases equals $100 million. So roughly $33 million in each case. They're going to take these and they're going to fly them.
And, they put transponders in them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're flying to San Francisco. So he's about to leave, but then Agent Wright he says like, oh yeah, the FBI has someone that's gonna he's being transferred to the office out there in California.
Yeah, so
right, he's gonna tag along.
So as a interdepartmental favor, they've asked us if we'd let him tag along. And
this is Agent Matheson, played by Vito Ruganis.
And so Travers like, oh yeah, that's fine. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, that's fine.
Glad to have you.
Right. So that sets up this portion of it, right? So you can kind of get where that's going from here, since we've kind of talked about the plot. Now we cut back to Gabe, and he's driving his Jeep or his Is he driving a Bronco? There is a Bronco in this movie. Is he driving a Bronco? I can't remember. Anyway, so we find out quickly, as he's arriving into town, he sees these 2 kind of extreme sports.
Yeah. So he's driving past a gas station, and these 2 guys in a Jeep are filling up with gas, and they see his car coming by, and like, hey, that's Gabe. That's Gabe. Let's go get him. Let's Gabe. So they chase him down.
These being like surfer guys, but instead they like to do extreme stuff in the Rockies.
Yeah.
Right.
But they've got that surfer guy
aesthetic. 90s surfers aesthetic.
It's like, well, it's Gabe.
And this is Evan and Brett, played by Evan is played by Max Perlich. Brett is played by Trey Brownell. And they catch up with him and like, oh, hey, Gabe,
they're like driving, they're honking at him, they're going crazy. Like
we're gonna do all this weekend. Like, are you back? And Gabe's just listening, and he's just trying to focus on the road.
He's like, "Where you been?" He's like, "I've been up in Denver working." And Brett's like, "No, sorry, Evan." Evan is like, "Oh man, I hate that. I hate work, even when other people are doing it." But yeah, again, right now they're driving right next to each other, and they're talking through the windows,
and neither one of them, or neither Brett or Evan, are really looking at the road.
No,
they're just looking at.
I mean, they're extreme sports nuts. They like it extreme.
They're listening to Fish, right?
Mm-hmm. And so anyway, so they tell Gabe that they're going to go parachute off the tower. They're going to climb up the tower and parachute and base jump. And they're like, you should come with. And Gabe's like, I don't know, I don't think so.
I don't climb anymore.
He's like, and they're, oh, don't that job you went to, don't tell us it made you afraid of heights.
I mean, it might have had something to do with something else.
Yeah, it maybe not the job he was working in Denver, but yeah, there's something else there that might make him not want to go to the tower again.
Like, did they miss that detail? Forget about it. I guess they don't pay that much attention to things, so they might have missed that detail. But he tells them to be careful, watch the weather.
Yeah,
right?
He said there's some bad weather coming in. Be careful.
So he continues on, and he goes back to his house with Jessie. Right? She's grooming the horse that she has, right? And she's not expecting him.
Mm-hmm.
And he shows up, and she's not pleased to see him because, again, they lived together, they cared about each other, and
he just
after the funeral,
after everything,
he just left after the funeral. He stayed for that, and that was it. Right?
And he's been blaming himself for what happened to Sarah.
And she's trying to tell you can't blame yourself for that. It's like, hey, he's like, Hal never should have brought her out there in the first place with no experience. Right? And not necessarily blaming Hal for it, but she's saying she's
just saying there's enough blame to go around. You shouldn't shoulder everything on this. You did everything you could do. You held on for as long as you could.
And he just kept saying, well, maybe I should have gone out in the first place. He's just like, he's just still just weighing him down. Right? It's hanging on him. It's hanging over him. It's like,
as if he were a cliff.
I'm sorry.
It's hanging on him as if he were a cliff.
He just has to cut that rope so it no longer hangs on him, and he can be free.
Yeah,
he can be a free cliff.
He can be a free cliff that then people can base jump off his head.
Oh my goodness! This is just ripe for so many different puns and avenues and angles and yeah. Didn't count on that happening, but I should have. Just like you should always count on gravity.
Yes.
Which multiple characters neglect to.
Never doubt gravity.
It is one lesson you learn from this podcast. Never doubt gravity.
Yeah. Gravity is a thing.
You can't see it. It's there. Regardless. So, but yeah, he tells her, I'm just going to grab the things I've left here. And I'm going to just scoot back to Denver. Right? And Jess is still not happy about this. And she's like, I got to work. I'll see you later. Right? So she drives off. Right? And then Thor comes in because Thor has been missing, Gabe also.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. So Thor the dog comes out and greets Gabe.
Yep. I guess Gabe stays a little bit, and then, he ends up leaving as well. So we cut back now. I guess, do we cut back to the flight from here? Or do we cut to the ranger station?
I think we cut
Jess gets the ranger station. She gets to the ranger station.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Hal's still there, and Frank is still there, right? And we found out Frank is an amateur artist.
Yes, Frank is an amateur artist, and he's painting something on a big piece of glass.
Yes,
and there's a banana hanging up by a string,
yes.
right next to where he's painting. And Hal is, he's asking him, what he's painting, and he's like, "What, you can't tell?" He's like, "What?" It's like, why is there banana and what are you painting? And he's like, what usually eats bananas? It's like, a monkey? Monkeys? He's like, yes. Except I'm painting a banana eating a monkey. It's nature in reverse. Like, okay. All we see on this thing that he's painting, he just like made a big like half circle in yellow. It's like a big yellow C. And then some little squiggles of other colors.
Anyway, so
I mean, hey, art.
It's art. So anyway, so I figured that scene was first or this next scene, but I just figured we might as well just
they're back
go
to
into
back
that scene because we were at Jess. That's where Jess goes next, and then they don't go beyond much on this scene from there. So, but the next thing we have now though is that we are on the jet, right?
Yes,
and you have
Travers, you have
Matheson, and there's other agents there that work with that under Travers.
We have just one Treasury agent who is played by Bruce McGill.
Treasury agent Bruce McGill, right? And there's a pilot and the first officer. They're up in the cockpit, right? And Matheson, he's sitting there. He's sitting by the window and he looks out and he sees a small jet.
Yeah, just like a small private jet
is tailing us. Right, and he wants to get his stuff, and he's trying to get the other agents. Like, I think we need to be prepared to be maybe potentially like hijacked here. Like, I see an issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Travers is telling you,
Travers like, calm down. It's not. Don't worry about it. It's not what you think.
We'll look out. We'll keep an eye, right? And then the cockpit, up in the cockpit, the first officer's kind of talking about it as well, and the pilot's like, okay, yeah, no, we'll continue on.
And then Travers comes up to the cockpit and he talks straight to the pilot. And he's like, all right, slow down, move over closer to him. Like, they're not wasting any time.
No.
With revealing Travers' true intentions here.
No, they're not. Not at all. He gets back. And now Matheson is ready. Like, he is trying to go ahead and get the weapons to be able to, right? And Travers like, that's not necessary. And Matt is like, no, can't you? Then he's trying to tell the others, can't you tell? He can tell right away. Travers is a turncoat, right? He knows. He can tell. He's an FBI agent. He's a smart FBI agent. He can tell us, right?
So he tells the other guys, he's like, okay, guys, we got to take him in. And so they pull their guns on Travers, and then they point them at Matheson.
Yep. He's convinced them, like, hey, no, like, he's lying. Like, no, he's not lying. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Try to put him down. Right. And so once they put the guns onto him, Travers then just shoots his two agents.
Three of them. He shoots all three people. The two agents and Matheson. And then the co-pilot,
the first officer, like the co-pilot, is like,
he's like, what's going on?
Something's wrong back there.
And then the pilot pulls out a gun and shoots him.
Pulls out a gun and shoots him. Right? And so now you have, it's just Matheson and his pilot again, Travers and the pilot again, and they're maneuvering to get closer. And now, we've cut into the communication on the other plane. And they're talking amongst each other.
And all of the people on the other plane are wearing masks. Like, they're wearing full on, like gas mask style, like, masks, oxygen masks.
Mm-hmm.
And
so they both open really see their the hatches on the side of the plane,
but we hear the distinct voice of John Lithgow.
John Lithgow
doing a terrible British accent.
Terrible British accent of John Lithgow. And so, so they rig it up so they open up their side exits there, and then they're gonna rappel from the Treasury plane down to the other plane with the cases, right?
Yeah. So Travers, gets to the controls and he opens up the tail cone. So he detaches the tail cone from the plane, so that they can send this cable across.
Yes. And at the time, I'm sure it's been surpassed by this was the most expensive stunt in cinema. Yeah,
I'm sure it's been surpassed.
But at the time, this was the most expensive stunt. So, right? So they, he goes first, right? Because he didn't want them just to send. He didn't want to send the money down.
Yeah. So
and then
so he hooks he hooks the cases to the cable before he goes.
Yes.
To make sure that they're going to go too, but he goes across, and John Lithgow tells him, why didn't you send the cases first? You were supposed to do that. And he's like, well, I didn't think you'd let me come across after the cases got over here.
Right. Smart guy.
Yep. So then it's up to the pilot to send the cases across.
Yep. So the pilot starts sending them down, and they're kind of halfway between the two planes.
Mm-hmm. And then Matheson
is not dead yet.
No, he's injured.
He's mortally wounded, but
he's not dead yet. And he gets up and he's got his gun, and he shoots the pilot. And the pilot falls out of the back of the plane. If he's not dead already, he will be soon.
There's a really good shot of him just kind of tumbling out of the plane. Okay. And so, again, now you have Matheson looking at them across. Right.
And so one of the guys in the other plane pulls out a sniper rifle, and he's standing in the doorway and he's aiming at Matheson. But Matheson, he's got an automatic submachine gun, and so he shoots over there and he gets the sniper before he can shoot him.
Yeah, I like what John Lithgow says, get him to a hospital quick.
Yeah.
And then he just shoves him out.
The sniper gets shot and he's not dead. They're like, what do we do? What do we do? Like, get him to a hospital quick. And they just shove him out the door. Classic 90s villain thing to do.
Right. But Travers has also set the plane, though, to blow up. Right. So Matheson at this point, he's still there standing, and then he hears, the ticking of the thing, the bomb right before it blows up. And he gets this great shot of him just being consumed with fire.
Yes.
Right.
As the explosion comes down the fuselage of the plane.
Yeah. But hey, he went down in a blaze of glory.
Yes, he did.
He could not stop everything that happened, but he foiled their plan the best that he could.
Yep.
So Matheson has, nothing to. He died honorably.
Yes, he has no regrets. Nothing from this situation to regret.
This entire situation, of course, then between shooting at the plane and now this explosion, right, is that it forces the other jet to crash land, right, and the cases get scattered.
Yeah, because the cases are still out on the cable. Yeah, and so they sort of just get scattered. They fall in 3 different places on the mountains. But luckily, Travers had put trackers on them.
Right.
He had tracking devices on the cases, so they're able to pull up, a display of where they landed on the mountains.
Where they are, because they have no idea where they are the first one. They said they crash landed in the mountains, and they have the tracking device to find them, right? And so they had to go try to find them, but they needed a little help first. So, there's again, their plane had a pilot and a co-pilot also, and the co-pilot dies in the crash, right? And so you have,
and the pilot is Crystal,
small group,
who is John Lithgow's girlfriend.
Yes. And so she radios for help. Right? She says, oh yeah, the storm came in, quicker than we thought. We're here stranded. Oh, and Billy, he needs his insulin. We got to get here quick. Right? And she's able to look around just to give them some visual clues to Rocky Mountain Rescue where to find them, right? And we hear Jesse and Frank and Hal receive it, right? And they figure out quickly where they are.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, right, we get a quick shot back at the treasury, right? And Wright is just wanted, he hasn't heard from the flight in a while. It's like, and it's gone missing. It's not all on the radar anymore, right? So, they're concerned about what's happened, which is when we get the FBI show up. It was like, well, Matheson actually wasn't really being transferred. We suspected that maybe that some of your money might be tracked, and so we put someone on that plane undercover to see what might be happening. Right?
And they haven't heard from Matheson either.
They haven't heard from, yeah. And so it's like, well, yeah, we lost contact, right? And then Wright's like, well, why would any one of my, men be like a double agent? It's like, oh, well, it might be because of this guy, Eric Quaylen. That's when we find out John Lithgow's character's name, Eric Quaylen, who's a former British military intelligence officer, right? And he kind of does, he's almost like a mercenary, right? He leads a gang of thieves, stealing different things like this, and then bringing it to different interested parties.
Basically,
right? Again, very basic,
a variation on Hans Gruber.
Yeah, kind of. We're pretty basic villain at this time, right? So Jesse is gonna fly Hal out. Hal's gonna Jason's fly him out. He gonna go out himself to meet them, right? Jesse ends up going back and talking to Gabe about like, hey, there's these stranded like hikers, like Hal's already going out.
On his way out, but he could use some help. He doesn't want you there, but he could use some help.
Like, yeah. Because it's like 5 or 6 of them, right? That's how they put it.
So if you go this way, then you can meet up with them up there. You can get up quicker.
I love there's always a quicker way.
Yeah, there's always a quicker way to get there. There's always a bigger fish.
And so at first he's going to say no, but ultimately he ends up agreeing to do this, right? So we get to the point where, Hal's climbing up, and who's waiting for him but Gabe?
Mm-hmm. How long has Gabe been sitting there? How long has Gabe been sitting there? Because he's like comfy. Because he's like up there waiting for him.
That's the funny thing about this movie. Like, there's parts where they get comfy in this movie, even though supposedly there's a snowstorm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, Gabe's waiting there. He's had enough time to read a book or something.
Yeah, he's like 3/4 of the way through War and Peace, and
anyway, he's watched the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy extended editions.
Yeah, and he's been up there for a while.
Plus our 6 episodes podcast series on it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's done well. So no, but yeah, Hal's not happy to see him. Obviously, Hal blames him for Sarah's death. It's like, I don't need you. I don't need your help. I don't want to see you. It's your fault. And Gabe's not here to argue about it. It's like, no, it's like, I want to help you, help these people.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to discuss this right now.
We don't need to.
Like, I have my own guilt about this, but
let's just get these people down here, and then we can go our separate ways.
So Gabe's not going to take no for an answer. He's going to tag along, right?
And so they find the plane.
They find it. And then they get taken prisoner.
Yeah.
Right?
Again, they waste no time, revealing.
And it's funny. There's always this tension between Quaylen and Travers. Mm-hmm. They don't like each other.
No, they don't.
And it's funny. Quaylen doesn't seem to have a lot of respect for Travers. And Travers feels that. It's like, no, I know what I'm doing here too. And I don't think you necessarily realize the full scope of the situation. I think you're messing around too much, right? And there's a point where Quaylen uses Travers's name after they get caught. It's like, and Travers is like, don't use my name. Right? And, Quaylen looks at him condescendingly, almost kind of, John Lithgow just has that look,
Yeah.
that condescending look he gives somebody.
Yeah.
And that's the look he has here. He has that look throughout this.
But they waste no time revealing that these guys are bad guys. I mean, they take Gabe and Hal hostage right away.
And the henchmen, like, it's funny. Like, all of a sudden, they're almost like bullying them a little bit, right? They're making fun of them. And, yeah. They're not, they are, there's nothing subtle about this movie.
Yeah.
Including how these henchmen treat the two of them, right? But they show them the location on the tracker, like, oh, do you know where this is? And they're like, yeah, we know where that is.
First they keep their mouths shut. And then,
that's right.
Then they're like, well, if you don't tell us, then we're going to kill you. Then you're no use to us. And, no witnesses.
That's right.
So then Hal's like, yeah, we know where it is.
And there is 5 of them. So you have Travers, Quaylen, and 5 others. We mentioned Crystal. We have Kenneth, Delmar, Ryan, and Heldon.
Yep.
So they're getting closer to the first one. We get a shot back at the station, and Jesse's talking to Frank. He's like, I'm surprised we haven't really heard from them yet, right? And they gave them fake names, right? Hal and Cliff gave them fake names.
Mm-hmm.
Cliff Gabe. He just should have called himself Cliff here.
I mean, hey, his first name's Cliff, his last name's Hanger. Come on.
Walker, this is Texas Ranger.
TR for short.
So they get to below the spot where these are, and Jesse's calling them in. It's like, oh, where are you? We haven't, I'm surprised I haven't heard from you yet. And Quay's like, oh, so your names are, Gabe and then, Hal. Okay. Right? But, they say, no, we're, oh, yeah, no, it was just, there's a false report. We'll be heading back soon. We're just, we're just chilling, catching up on old times, right?
We're just, we're just chilling up here at the tower. And,
I might actually kill Gabe and just leave him for dead.
Yeah, but, see you soon.
And so they're looking there and like, okay. So so they ask him, where is it? And Gabe just points up.
Yeah.
Right.
And meanwhile, it cuts back. So first it cuts back to Jesse and Frank. And Jess is like, wait, he's at the tower. They're not at the tower. They're at this other place. This other rock formation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she starts suspecting that there's something wrong. Right.
They get enough clues, especially based on where they started and what was said earlier. Yeah. Yeah. So, Jesse realizes quickly that they're kind of giving these subtle clues that something's wrong. It's like, I can fly out there, I can go this way and, cut them off and, so that's her plan.
Yeah. So
yeah. So, and, Gabe just points up. It's up there, right? It's up in this whole sheer like cliff face that he's got to climb up to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But Quaylen decides, you know what? I think I should take his jacket.
Yeah. You're going to, yeah, he's like, so Gabe, you're going to go up there. You're going to get it. But yeah, take his jacket first. Take his coat. And
because, you might, we want to give the guy frostbite that's going to try to retrieve your money.
Yeah. And, and Hal's like, but he'll freeze. Like, I don't care. Take his coat. And then Quaylen's also,
Gabe gets
and I also want him on a leash. So get a rope out.
Oh, that's right. They tie a rope to his ankle.
And they make Hal tie a rope around Gabe's ankle. And so the guns that they have, or at least one of the guys, at least Heldon, his gun, it's, you're like an AR style rifle, and then it's also got a grenade launcher attached to it, but not your standard like underbarrel grenade launcher. It's like a side by side one with like It's like a multi-shot grenade launcher. Like they just took two guns and duct taped them together or something.
So they're waiting there. He again, take note of the grenade launcher because that's exactly what you need in the Rocky Mountains.
Oh yeah. So
he gets up to where the case is and he opens it up and he sees all the cash in there.
Yeah. So he uses a rock to bust it open and he sees all the cash. And
I love how like the case is already buried in snow.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But he gets it, he opens it up with the rock, like you said. There's lots of cash in there.
It's just full of cash, full of $1,000 bills.
He says he has it.
So he closes it up.
And then Quaylen gets a good idea. He's like, oh, you know what?
Kill him when he gets down here.
We don't need two trackers. So when he comes down, kill him. Now, why would he announce that to his buddy that's standing right there?
Yeah. So, of course, Hal yells up to Gabe. He's like, don't come down. They're going to kill you. And so Hal gets knocked to the ground. And like they're on this little tiny ledge.
Yeah, it's not. No, it is not a lot of space. They basically have to go almost single file.
It's like they're going up the path of Caradras.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
And
so Gabe's going to get ready to just toss this all the way over the cliff, which also would clear them and fall thousands of feet.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and he doesn't completely latch it either. So like the cash just starts to fly, and Heldon gets a grand idea that he should
first they try to pull him down.
Oh, that's right.
So
they try to pull him down.
So once Hal yells up to him that they're going to kill him, rather than waiting for him to come down with the money, they just yank the rope. They're still going to have to go up and get the money.
They're still going to exactly. And Gabe's able to cut the rope off, right?
So he grabs something and starts hacking at the rope and cuts it at the last second, right before he gets pulled over the cliff.
They would still need to go back up and get it at this point, but this is the point where he's getting ready to throw it down all the way over the cliff.
Yeah, but Heldon starts shooting up there. He's shooting just the rifle first, and then he just starts lobbing some grenade rounds up there.
Which, again, on a mountain,
on a snow-covered mountain. They use grenade launchers to cause avalanches in areas where avalanches are a big concern. They use them to cause controlled avalanches.
Yes.
And so he's shooting a grenade launcher up into the snow. One. It's going to cause an avalanche.
That you're standing directly below this mountain where the snow is.
Yeah. Genius, Heldon.
Well, at this point, thankfully, the only person that actually had to deal with the consequences of this is Heldon.
Yeah.
Because the avalanche just sweeps him off the cliff.
Instant karma. But while the snow is coming down the mountain, and then Gabe is able to throw the case, and so once all the snow comes down and the avalanche is cleared, then they see all just the money just floating down, and Quaylen is convinced that Gabe is dead.
It's like, your friend just had the most expensive funeral in that bad British accent.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to attempt, so.
Hey, your friend just had the most expensive funeral of all time.
Right? So, but, oh, yes, they mentioned they were going to stay at this old ranger station also. And that's also a clue what Jesse knew. So, Hal and the rest of the group, they go on towards the next case. And because, Gabe knows where that ranger station is, he's able to make it. And remember, he does not have a jacket on.
No, he's just in
at the
short
top of the
sleeves.
mountains.
He's in a t-shirt.
In the middle of winter. And he gets to this old ranger station, and Jesse's already there, right? Like
she took that quicker way.
Yep,
she took that quicker way that there always is in this movie.
and again, she's surprised to see Gabe come, not Hal, and that Gabe has no jacket on, right? And he just quickly tells him, like, it was a trap, right? And, he's shivering, right? Because, he's going through
cold.
snow without a jacket on. It's cold.
He's in short sleeves in the mountains.
In, like, this display case.
Yeah.
That's it's almost a jacket. It's not just an old ranger station. It almost looks like it's not even a jacket, exactly. It's like almost like a museum like display case.
But yeah, so there's a sweater in there.
And it's a sweater.
It's a sweater.
So, which I don't get. This is what he's going to wear in the
rest of the movie.
The rest of the movie. Like, okay, I get it. At this point, he's inside. It's better than nothing for him to start warming up.
Yeah.
He is still going to need an actual jacket.
Mm-hmm. Which, there's that. Then also Travers. He's just wearing your regular, button-up shirt and a tie with a sweater over it, and then an open parka.
Yes.
Which, sure, he's wearing a coat, but he doesn't have it zipped up. Nothing like that.
Nope. Nothing. So.
Everybody else at least zips their coats up.
Yeah, I know. Everyone else is fully, winter attire. So, it gets towards nighttime. And Gabe's now kind of warmed up. And so they're going to take other mountaineering equipment that they have here, right? And, Gabe knows where the other two cases are. And so they're going to try to beat them there, the group, to that, the second point. The second case, right? And they more or less do, right? He beats him in the case. And he's going to have fun with this case.
Mm-hmm. He basically builds somewhat of a snowman.
Somewhat of a snowman.
It's a little more just a pointy, tower out of snow.
Yep.
A pointy mound. But yeah, anyway, so he's gonna have fun with it. So he asks Jessie if she has a pencil, and then it cuts from that. And then we have Quaylen and his crew making their way up to they're following the tracker, and they find it. They find the case at the base of this snow dick.
There's a message.
And the tracker is like stuck in it right around where the place where like a snowman's mouth would be. Yes. So yeah, he's made kind of a tall, skinny snowman basically. Mm-hmm. Because he's got little things in there for eyes and all that. So, and the case is sitting right down in front of it. And so they open up the case and there's $1,000 bill in there, and it's got something written on it.
Want to trade.
It says, want to trade.
It's like, oh, and Hal's kind of chuckling. Okay, Gabe's alive. He beat them there somehow.
Mm-hmm. He took that faster way. There's always a faster way.
With just a sweater.
Well, he doesn't even know he has a sweater. He thinks he's still in his short sleeve shirt. His t-shirt.
Who is this guy?
I am the law.
So, one of the guys there, his name is Gabe. Not Gabe. His name is Ryan.
We know Gabe.
One of the guys is Gabe. We know Gabe. One of the guys, Ryan. Mm-hmm. He has night vision goggles. Right? And he's going around. He spots Jessie and Gabe running away. And so he goes after them and starts shooting at them, right?
Mm-hmm. And so they're hiding behind this little mound, this rock. And Gabe sees that Ryan is wearing night vision goggles. And so he tells Jessie to run, but before she goes, he tells her to give him the flare. She's like, what? Yes. She said, just give me the flare. So she gives him the flare out of her backpack and she runs. And then as Ryan comes over the rock that Gabe is hiding behind, Gabe ignites the flare, shoves it in his face so it overpowers his night vision goggles and blinds him temporarily.
Blinds him. He takes it off. And he's like, ah, right.
And then
they get into a tussle.
They get into a tussle. And they end up falling, and Gabe rides Ryan down the hill like a fucking sled.
Not like
literally he uses him as a sled.
I love how while he's going down, he is pressing his face into the ground. So you're seeing the skin just kind of like rip off his face because he pulls his hand away and Ryan brings his head up and he's just like his whole the side of his face is all bloody. And Gabe just keeps riding him down, use him as a sled, ride down this hill. Right until they get towards the end of the hill.
They come toward a cliff.
A cliff.
And so Gabe is able to get a hold of the ice axe. Oh, which earlier when we didn't mention, when Quaylen sent Gabe up to get the first case, Gabe said that he would need his
that's right.
His post gun and his ice axe, and Quaylen would not let him take either.
Yes.
His anchor gun. And so so he's able to get a hold of the ice axes. And as Ryan goes flying off the cliff, like he goes far, like he launches off of that cliff.
See him disappear into the dark.
Yeah. But hey, he could probably see where he was going because he had those night vision goggles.
Until the very end.
But Gabe uses that ice pick axe to stop his descent right at the edge of the cliff. So he's hanging off the cliff again. He is a cliffhanger again.
Yes, he is. He is hung from a cliff again. That's cliffhangers are apt to do. So now we've eliminated another one.
Yeah, so maybe we should just stop calling him Gabe and just start calling him Cliffhanger the rest of the movie.
Let's call him Cliff. What do they call you, Cliff? So, the rest of the group continues onward, and Cliff, reunites with Jesse, and they get back to the cabin, and they sleep there at that cabin over the night, and they use the money as to light a fire, right? They're not
at the cabin now; they're in a cave.
Oh, so they're in a cave. That's right. Thank you. They're in a cave, and
because if they were at the cabin, they would have had the fireplace that was in the cabin. But yeah, they're in a cave, and they're using the money as kindling to burn. To make a fire.
So, at least even though he doesn't have like a blanket or anything or a jacket, at least he's got a fire to keep him warm.
And he comments as he's throwing a stack of bills in there that, this fire is costing them a fortune.
The money's actually no good to him.
Yeah.
So anyway, meanwhile, we haven't mentioned our two stoner buddies in a while. Evan and Brett, we saw them do their base jump, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we now also have a scene with them here at night where they're in a tent. Sleeping in their tent.
They're in Tent City.
And they're just talking. It's how two friends talk.
Their tent. You would think something that they would call Tent City would be like a group of tents, but it's their tent.
No, the tent. There's only one.
They call it we're in Tent City. Which doesn't make much sense because it's only their tent.
No,
but
hey, I not a lot about these two guys that makes sense. Okay, so
anyway, so Evan is like, so Brett, next time you're watching like MTV or whatever, switch over to the Weather Channel for like 10 seconds.
Another great reference to the early 90s. Back when MTV actually did mean something.
Yeah. Yeah, they just stopped doing their 24-hour music.
I know. It's a shame.
Mm-hmm. It's a good run. But MTV for years has been, everything but music. Anyway, so yeah, they're complaining about the weather.
The next day.
And first off, they're complaining about the weather, but Cliff warned them. He warned them about the weather.
And they're pretty extreme guys. You think they would be okay with extreme weather? Like
they told him. They told Cliff that they like it extreme.
I mean, they definitely looked like they packed a tent that was rated for the weather.
Yeah.
Plus the appropriate jackets.
Yeah.
Right? They were at least they were prepared on that end to have the right tent and the right clothing. Mm-hmm. For those conditions, that if they were going to have to sleep overnight, to have the right, they're properly prepared there. Yeah. So, why are they complaining?
So I would have expected them to take a hang glider rather than parachutes.
Yes.
They seem more like the hang gliding crowd than the base jumping.
They hang glide and listen to Wilson Phillips.
Yeah. Yep.
Which would have been perfect at this time because that movie only would have been 2 years. That song would have only been 2 years old.
Yeah. Yep. Just hold on for one more day.
Perfect because if you hold on, one more night, Cliff.
One more day.
Oh my. That movie might be coming. If you don't know what movie that is,
we're going to be talking about that movie eventually. We just need to figure out when.
Anyway, so everybody has a good night's sleep, and we get to the next day, right? And Gabe and Jesse know they need to beat Quaylen and his henchmen,
but they know the faster way.
Third case, they know the faster way. Right? So they're walking
through the cave. Aren't they just going deeper into the cave?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
But then they go deeper in the cave. Oh, yes. Well, let's get that scene. There's this weird random scene where they go deeper in the cave and they encounter bats.
Okay, a crazy number of
this is a scene that probably could have been cut.
This is like the bats that Bruce Wayne encounters in the Bat Cave when he first goes in there.
Yes.
This is an entire village of bats.
They're not expecting to see them, but they are in a cave. So it's again, an entire village of bats. And then they startle them, and the bats go crazy as a bunch of bats do. Mm-hmm. And they're flying all around them. And Jesse's freaking out. So again, it's kind of a
Cliff
random scene that's in here.
I'm Batman.
Again, it's kind of random, but it's there. They go deeper into the cave, right? And then you have the other group, Quaylen's group. They're continuing on, right? And Hal's there, and then Brett and Eric. Oh, hey, Hal! It's good to see you, right? What are you doing out here?
And Hal's not answering him.
Excuse me.
Hal's not answering him.
And and Quaylen's like, Eric, he's like, oh, you know those guys. You should talk to them, right? And he is trying to tell them oh, hey, just go back. I'll talk to you later.
Just go back. You around. I'll meet you back at the ranger station.
Get them out of there. Right? And then, you say, oh no, go talk to them and all, and so forth. Right? And then, the two of them are like, oh, who are these guys you're with? Right?
And so he's like, don't worry, just go. I'll meet you back at the station. Don't worry.
It's weird because it seems like they're ready to go back.
Yeah.
But then this guy Delmar, as you find out later, he's also British and an ex-soccer player. Right? Yeah. Decides to start shooting at them for no reason.
Nope, he just pulls out his gun and starts shooting.
And they start running away as this happens. Yep.
Well, they start running away, so then he chases them, and then he shoots again, and he shoots Brett in the back.
He hits Brett in the back, right? And Evan keeps going, right? And he gets to the edge of a cliff. Because his name is not Cliff.
He does not
hang from the cliff.
No, he does not hang from the cliff.
But he has his parachute, and while he's running, he's attempting to get his chute on.
Yeah.
Right?
But he's still being shot at by Delmar. And it's revealed... I mean, later. It's not explicitly said that he's shot, but judging by the extent of his injuries later, he's clearly been shot. But
yes.
But yeah, so he ends up jumping off the cliff. He doesn't hang from it. He jumps off it.
Nope.
And because as he's running, he puts his
name is not
parachute
Cliff.
on. Yeah. But
he's able to pull his chute.
And he
floats down and
gets because he's caught in some trees. And so he's just hanging in the trees. He could be called Tree Hanger.
He could be called Tree Hanger, but he's not.
Maybe he's Tree. I am Groot.
So, meanwhile, we kind of cut back to the ranger station, and Frank's like, well, I haven't heard from any of them in a while. I don't know about this. Right? So, he's going to go ahead. He's going to start he starts scanning the area with his helicopter, trying to find them. Right? And while Evan is hanging from the tree, right? Eventually, these
pack of wolves come up, and they're he's hanging just above them, and so they're kind of nibbling at his boots and trying to jump up and grab him.
They try to make this scene more tense. They want to make this scene more tense than it is, but it never really gets that tense.
But they just seem like playful dogs.
They do.
They don't seem like wolves.
There's never feels like there's much danger here. Yeah. Right. And then this tree is near this riverbed, right? And so Frank's able to put down the helicopter. He finds Gabe there, and he shoots a gun to scare off the dogs. And
the wolves go running away. So
we'll find out later
and that Evan is unconscious at this point.
Evan did get hit with a bullet, and he's being transferred to the hospital
in critical condition.
Yeah, so they don't say much after that, so you assume he probably lived.
Yeah.
Right? But anyway. So
Frank gets Evan out of there.
Go around.
And then he goes, and then Frank goes back out to try to find them again. And so he's flying around.
And so he's flying around. He's still trying to find them. He's trying to radio for them also.
Yeah. So what? Cliff and Jesse are in the cave, and Cliff is climbing up, and he thinks he found a way out.
Yep.
Just as
meanwhile, when the rest of the group eventually where they get to is near this large suspension bridge over this between these two different peaks, right? And they is the money on the other side or on their side?
The money's on the other side, I think.
Okay.
Because that's where they come up, and Hal's like, well, this is where we cross, and Travers is like, what do you mean? Where do we cross? How do we cross this? And Hal just points to the bridge.
It's a bridge, moron.
There's a bridge there.
You walk across. So at what point though does then Kynette, because Kynette this entire time has been mocking his fellow henchmen.
Kynette's just been a dick this whole time.
I think everybody actually just hates Kynette.
Yeah, I think everybody just hates Kynette, and he's been getting on Hal's last nerve. And
right, and so but for some reason he goes off. He's walking around, right? He's kind of separating himself from the rest of them, right? And he's standing around and he hears these voices through the snow. And he's like, "What the?"
And we see Cliff. He's breaking through the snow,
and he had to kind of shimmy up
from underground
a little bit underground. So, because it's a cave, right? There's some tight spaces, and that's where he shimmied through it.
So he gets through there, and then he calls down to Jesse. He's like, okay, come on up. And then he turns his head, and Kynette's standing right there with his gun.
Yep.
And so, he's got Cliff at gunpoint, and so he tells him to give him money. Because he asks him what happened to the money, and Cliff tells him that he burned it. But Kynette doesn't believe him. He's
thinking about the money from the second case.
Yeah, Kynette doesn't believe him. He's like, that's the wrong answer. What did you do with it? Give me the money.
It's like, and so then, they keep going. And finally, he gives him an ultimatum. I'm going to give you 3 chances. Okay. Why would the bad guy try to...
So the 3 chances is until after this next part.
Okay, that's right.
So he tells him to give him the money. So Cliff's like, okay, and his arm is buried under the snow.
That's right.
And so he kind of brings his arm out of the snow, and he's holding that ice axe, and he swings it and slices Kynette's shin.
That's right. That's what happens first.
Doesn't cut his leg off or anything like that, but the dude's going to need stitches.
He would need stitches. If he ever got out of the cave, he smelled something.
Yeah.
So they get back into the
so they fall back down into the cave. They fall back down into the cave. And this is when Kynette's like, okay, I'm going to ask you just 3 times.
Why are you giving him 3 chances?
Why?
He's supposed to be an evil henchman. Mm-hmm. Why are you giving him 3 chances here?
Yeah. Why are you going to ask him just 3 times?
They could say, I'm going to count to 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I'm going to count to 3. Or I'm going to ask you once. If you don't tell me, I'll kill you, or I'll kill Jesse, or whatever. No. I'm going to ask you just 3 times. Where's the money? He's like, I burned it. Wrong answer. I'm going to ask you a second time. Where's the money?
Why is that an implausible answer? He answers correctly.
Yes, he does. He tells him the truth. He tells him what he did with it.
You saw him disregard the money from the first case.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it unbelievable that he burned the second case?
It's possible that the first case, maybe he was going to take it, but then the avalanche happened and it knocked the case away from him and knocked it down the cliff.
Anyway,
so maybe he just thought that he was going to take the second case, but no.
Anyway, so
he tells him the truth. Though. He tells him that he burned it. He did. He burned it. It was the most expensive fire ever. It was costing him an arm. It was costing him a fortune. But anyway, so then he starts commenting on, what kind of man puts his girl in this situation.
He's just questioning Cliff's manhood.
He's like, I'll tell you what, you tell me where the money is now, and I just kill you. And I don't kill her.
Again, why? Anyway, so now a true fight ensues between the two of them.
Yeah. So they're fighting, and it seems like Kynette has the upper hand.
He does,
even though he's not even granted, he did get his leg sliced, not as much as some movies have it happen, but still, that was a deep cut, and he should be feeling it. And sure, there's adrenaline and stuff, but there should at least be some signs of limping or something like that. But no, he doesn't seem to acknowledge his leg at all.
No, and he's not as imposing as, say, Delmar.
No.
So it seems like a mismatch.
This guy's played by Leon. He's a pretty skinny guy. So
they get to a point there where, because he gets some shots, Cliff gets some shots in this,
Cliff gets some shots in,
buddy's up. the
But
face.
it seems like Kenneth has the upper hand. He seems like he's winning the fight. And
he seems like he's standing over him about to do the kill blow, and he's taunting him.
And he makes his fatal mistake. He mentions Jesse again.
So he monologued about Cliff's girlfriend. That's again, as a fatal mistake.
And he tells him that, okay, now I'm going to kill you, and then I'm going to treat her right.
Mm-hmm. You don't do that to Cliff.
No. So Cliff gets
able to get up. He grabs him
by the crotch with one hand, picks him up, grabs him by the shoulders in the other hand. As Kynette is screaming from having his balls squeezed. By a guy that hangs from cliffs for a living. So you know he's got a good grip.
Yes, Cliff has to have a good grip. He's able to lift him above his head
and just shoves him up right into a stalactite that's hanging from the ceiling.
He
just
also
impales him on a stalactite.
He just impales him on a stalactite.
Yeah.
I love the stalactite is now just covered in blood. It's dripping. And you would think at this point, actually, like, what is actually holding?
Yeah, he's just pinned up there. He's stuck.
He's stuck. He's
just dangling from a stalactite.
With Sarah, but it is kind of focused on her falling a very long way.
It just focuses on his face. He's got like blood coming out of his mouth. Yeah. He was just impaled on a stalactite.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's just hanging there. They don't do anything to get him down. They just leave him hanging in that cave for who knows how long.
Yes.
Like, are spelunkers going to come through that cave years later and they're just going to see this guy hanging from a stalactite? Like, what happened to you?
I mean, it's very possible. Like, you just stay frozen in there.
Yeah. Is a Wampa going to move in? And that's how he's going to get the idea to hang Luke from the ceiling?
But yes, he's not a cliffhanger. He is a stalactite hanger.
There's all kinds of hangers in this movie, but the only true cliffhanger is Sylvester Stallone.
Yes.
So they get out of there.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. No, they rigged explosives above that cave.
Yes, that's what it was.
And so they explode the cave. So
yeah,
I guess he doesn't stay hanging there forever after they explode the cave.
True. Because he was sent up there. Yeah, he was sent up there to set the explosives. That's why he was up around that area.
That's right. Right. And so then he calls out to them that that it's rigged, and so they're able to barely get out. And then they have to hang from another cliff.
Well, they're running across the bridge and they hit the tripwire.
No, that's later. Because they escape from that, they hang from another cliff, and then they come back to that bridge and trip that later.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Because I'm trying to figure out when they go across the bridge. It's just going to be Delmar, and trying to remember all where it all fits in here.
Because they get out of there, and then Cliff sends Jesse back to the station.
Not yet.
Because
Jesse's in at the end of the movie.
Yeah, but because they get separated at one point after the bridge.
Right. Well, when does Frank come back in? Because Frank is able to. Because
Frank, he after he dropped Evan off.
Because I remember being a scene there
taken
where
to the hospital, then Jesse he comes back out.
Jesse and Cliff on the side of another cliff, and somehow they're able to climb back up it after the explosion in the cave. Anyway, something happens there.
Okay, so yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. So the explosion up on top of the mountain. Yeah, there were two different. Yeah, the bridge explosion is a different thing. So yeah, they're coming down because they're warned about the explosion, and so they're trying to make it down, and they've got a rope with them that I'm guessing they took from that ranger station / museum.
Oh, that's right. There's that rope. Yes.
Because it's over 50 years old.
The old rope that's like 56 years old. That's right.
And that's the only rope they have. So they have to rappel with it because they're trying to get away from this explosion.
That's right.
And so they're concerned about if it's going to hold. Yeah, Jesse's like, is it going to hold? And Cliff's like, probably not. She's like, well, that's not very encouraging.
Don't worry, I'm Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I hang from cliffs.
Yes. Cliffhanger at your service. So, they start rappelling, and then they need to swing across this gap.
That's right. That's the gap. That's where it is. Yes.
And they're swinging, and they don't quite make it to where they're going, so they got to swing back. They got to do it a couple of times, and as they're swinging, it just keeps showing the rope at the edge of where it's tied off, and it just keeps on getting more and more frayed. The rocks are just cutting through the rope. That's right. And they get over, and the rope snaps. And Cliff, because he's Cliffhanger, he grabs onto the cliff, and he's hanging there. And Jesse starts falling.
Oh, that's right.
So Cliff reaches down and he grabs her. So it's just like the scene.
And she's got a glove on.
And she's got a glove on, just like Sarah did. And
but he's able to pull her up.
But she's able to get both hands up there.
Yep.
So she's able to get her other hand up to grab his arm.
As Sarah fell.
Yeah. And so Cliff is able to pull her up and get her up onto the ledge. So he was able to redeem himself.
Yes.
From that.
He's now redeemed himself from Sarah's death. So he can put that behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he can now make nice with Hal. Or Hal can forgive him. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Frank is now still flying around. He's come. He drops. He got Gabe to medical attention, like we talked about earlier, and I think then he's able at some point to get that. He communicates that to Gabe and Jesse, or Cliff and Jesse, excuse me. Right, and he's flying around, and then he sees someone lying in the snow, so he sits down.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and he's going to try to.
Well, he doesn't just see someone lying in the snow. He sees the red smoke.
Oh, that's right.
Because when they rescue someone like they did at the beginning of the movie, to show that they're okay and to show where they are, they set off a red smoke flare.
So he gets down there, but there's someone that's in the snow, right? And he comes up to this person, right? And this is actually Crystal. Yeah. So she points a gun at him. And the rest of the
she doesn't just point a gun at him. She points his gun at him.
That's right.
He kneels down to check on her, and she pulls his gun out of his holster and holds him at gunpoint.
She smiles, and everybody else shows up. Right? Which at this point would be Travers, Quaylen, and Delmar.
Mm-hmm. And Trigger Happy Delmar decides to shoot Frank.
Yep. And as Frank is dying, Hal goes up to him and is holding him as he's dying and hands him his pocket knife.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, Frank hands Hal his pocket knife that he used to cut down Evan from the tree.
That they killed Frank. He's like, he didn't have to do that. He was just a kind old man. He liked making art on glass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was no need to kill him.
I mean, well, when after Frank gave Hal his pocket knife, Hal slipped it into his boot.
Yes.
But yeah, he's like, there was no reason to kill Hal or to kill Frank. He was a kind man. He never did anything bad
to anybody.
He never hurt anybody.
He would have. You could anyway. So, and it's sad that Frank dies.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of innocent people that die in this movie.
Yeah.
But, and so Travers, after all this, Travers is just getting more and more irritated at Quaylen.
Yeah.
And his henchmen. He's like, you're being reckless about this. People can hear this, right? Like, this is not going to work, right? And so
you just made enough noise for stage. So here's his line that I don't understand. So he's like, you just made enough noise for anybody within 10 miles to hear. They're on the top of a mountain. Do they really think that anybody is within 10 miles? And if so,
right,
that they're not going to be otherwise occupied hanging from cliffs?
And if someone was like cross-country skiing, or you might think, oh, that's a biathlete. He's just, just shooting his rounds, right? So, but yeah, he's fed up. So they're at the helicopter now, right? And Travers is on one side.
Or was it Quaylen that killed Frank, or was it?
I can look it up real quick.
Was it Delmar or was it Quaylen? So I think I said it was Quaylen, or I think I said it was Delmar, but now I'm thinking maybe it was Quaylen.
Frank. No, it was Delmar.
Okay.
That shoots him.
Okay.
So most of the group is on the one side of the helicopter, except for Travers, right? And of course, they have both doors of the helicopter open. They're talking through it. And Travers is like, no, I'm going to take over this. Like, I don't trust you anymore. Right? And so Quaylen then, this is where he gets at his most kind of menacing.
And by the way, what we have not mentioned at all, we've gotten this far into the movie, have not mentioned that Quaylen, John Lithgow, carries a Desert Eagle.
Yes. He carries a Desert Eagle.
It's great seeing John Lithgow with a Desert Eagle.
It is great seeing with the Desert Eagle. And there's a shot like when he's shortly after this, where there's a really good shot of him when he's just pointing that Desert Eagle, looking like, and just giving that John Lithgow stare. And they're basically just staring down the muzzle of a Desert Eagle.
Yep.
And on the other end of that muzzle is John Lithgow.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're at the helicopter. They're at Frank's helicopter.
And Quaylen's like, oh, so you think you can order me around? You think you have the upper hand? That type of thing. And so then Quaylen keeps talking to him about this.
Well, Quaylen's like, okay, so give me this tracker. Give me the thing. Give me the monitor. And so, Travers tosses the monitor over to him. Because Travers is on one side of the helicopter, Quaylen and the rest of his people are on the other side.
Yeah,
of the helicopter.
They're going straight through the doors, right?
And so Travers, sort of tosses the monitor for the tracking device over to him, and before he did, he had sort of turned it off. So when Quaylen looks at it, it needs a code in order to bring up the map.
Yes.
And so he asks him what the code is. And he's like, I already told you. 50,000 possible button combinations at 15-second intervals.
And so, yeah, and they say this way back at the beginning, even back before the plane crashes at the beginning of, or maybe right when the plane crashes. After the plane crashes, they mentioned this at first.
Mm-hmm.
So to talk about it again.
And so
now he's really got Quaylen upset.
He refuses to give him the code.
So Quaylen's like, yeah, so you think you have the upper hand, that you can, make the demands here or whatnot. So he gets Crystal. He gets Crystal close to that.
He's Crystal, his girlfriend.
It's Crystal close. His girlfriend. And he's whispering sweet, close to her. He's like, oh, you know what love is? You know what true love is?
Sacrifice.
And then he shoots her.
He shoots her.
Sacrifice. Yeah, it's just a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And then he shoots her. Straight through the back of the heart, right?
And so she drops dead.
When she gets close to him, like, she's thinking, what are you doing, Eric? What are you doing? And so then, and then he's, as she goes through and she starts to fall over, he has her like by the jacket and he just tosses her to the side.
Yeah, he just tossed her to the side like nothing. And then he points that Desert Eagle at Travers. And he says, now I'm the only one that can fly this helicopter.
And so he gets in the pilot seat. He's like, yeah, now you know what? I'm just going to sit here. And you know what? The two of you can go across that bridge and... Yeah.
So he's like, it's good that we're working together again.
It's good that we're partners again.
Yeah, we're partners again.
He's like, now we're partners again.
Yep, that's what it was. So then he gets in the helicopter and he just sits down and straps in. He's like, I'm gonna stay here. He takes his scarf off.
Yeah, he gets comfy.
Mm-hmm.
Quaylen hasn't been this comfy all movie.
Nope. So Travers goes with Delmar. And I think this is when they set the explosives on the bridge.
And you have Hal.
Yeah. I think this is when they set the explosives on the bridge, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
So they're going, and when do they get separated?
Oh, no. So they get separated.
Hal and Delmar end up...
No. Okay. I think together. Travers still waits for them on the other side while Gabe and Delmar go get that last case.
Well... Hal and Delmar.
So, Hal. Yeah,
go to get the last case.
They rig the. We all know, but they will rig the bridge.
Yeah,
and so they find it. Delmar and Hal find it. Right.
Well, no. First, before Delmar and Hal find it, they don't. No, they don't find it. Because this is when was the bridge before this? Because when Cliff finds it, he's by himself.
That's right. Oh, that's right.
Because Delmar and Hal don't find the case. Cliff finds it because he always knows that faster way.
Right.
But he had they had run across the bridge, tripped the tripwire.
Yeah, they barely get across before it falls.
Before it explodes. And
he hasn't had the money yet on this, right? Because he's trying to go across.
Yeah.
So they has to find the other way around.
Yeah, so he sends Jesse back to try to get...
Yeah, so this is where he separates Jesse. Yes. Right?
So then Jesse goes off, and then he goes and he finds the other case. Yes.
And he finds the other case, but before he does anything, before we see what happens there,
mm-hmm.
Travers is not with Delmar and Hal, right?
Yeah.
Delmar and Hal are separated, right?
So, but when Cliff gets to the other case, he's sitting by it and then trying to figure out what to do with it. Then looks over and sees a hole in the snow.
That's right. He sees the hole. He sees like a rabbit hole.
Sees a hole in the snow.
He gets the idea.
Yeah, and he gets an idea, and then then it cuts to Travers, and he's walking through the woods, following the tracker, and he starts seeing the dot jump all over the place.
That's right. Yes.
And he's like, what's going on? What's going on with this thing? There's something wrong with this tracker. And then he looks up and he sees from over this little hill, he sees a rabbit with a tracker attached to it. And that pisses him off. So he shoots the rabbit. Does he hit it?
Well, he shoots at the rabbit.
Yeah, he shoots at it.
We'll know.
And yeah.
Oh no! We do see the rabbit actually ends up being alive. He thinks he's got the rabbit, and the rabbit pops up again.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, you have Delmar and
Hal.
They're separated, and Delmar just decides it's time just to go ahead and get rid of Hal. Right?
Well, do we see them yet, or do we see Jesse in the helicopter? Because the helicopter comes up, and she thinks it's Frank.
Yeah.
So she's like waving him over, Quaylen. And it's Quaylen coming up and points his gun at her. And
he has the Desert Eagle right at her.
So, right. So now he's got a hostage. But so Delmar and
so we kind of have like the 4 groups right now. You had Travers and Cliff, Jesse and Quaylen. That's 3 groups, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hal and Delmar. And Delmar, he's going to get ready to kill Hal. Right? And he starts mocking him. He's like, "Oh, I used to be a soccer player," which I think is interesting because this guy is British, so he would not actually call it soccer.
No, he'd call it football.
Yeah,
but he's talking to an American. So
it's like, I was a bloody striker,
and so he starts kicking him, and
again, it's almost like with Cadet and Cliff, Delmar definitely has the upper hand there. He's beating up Hal.
Yeah. He keeps on making striker references and then kicking
Michael Rooker here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like,
Delmar's not a small guy.
And again, he is giving like kind of like a TV or radio play-by-play of him kicking Hal's butt.
Because at this point, Hal is like at the edge of a cliff.
Yes. We get to the point where Hal ends up being a cliffhanger.
So, he comes up and he kicks Hal in the head, and he starts tumbling, and he's hanging off the cliff. He's hanging off the edge of the cliff, and
we got it.
And Delmar's got a shotgun, and he walks up and he's pointing it at Hal, and he's about to shoot him when Hal pulls out that knife that he got from Frank and stabs it into Delmar's leg. And Delmar, he reacts to it. He screams and gives that gives Hal enough time to grab Delmar and sort of throw him over him and grab his gun in the process and shoots Delmar with his own shotgun, and Delmar goes plummeting off the cliff.
As Hal says, "Season's over, bitch."
in the way that only Michael Rooker can. In a way that only Michael Rooker can deliver that line.
I'm glad they give Hal a chance to have a one-liner in this movie.
Me too. Meanwhile, Cliff is back. There's another little bridge that he goes across, and Travers is right behind him. And Travers gets to that little bridge, and Cliff's nowhere to be seen.
And so you got to remember too, at this point, we have scenes now where you have the FBI and the Treasury Department searching for the plane.
So they're in a helicopter and they're flying around. They intercept a radio transmission from Travers to Quaylen, and so this is where they determine that Travers is the traitor.
Yeah, and Travers decides, he does not give any Fs anymore.
Yeah,
he decides he's going to start really spilling the beans about Quaylen because he realizes it's an open line.
Yeah.
And so he kind of gives his whole spiel about why he did it, and Quaylen's trying to tell him shut up. He's like, no, I'm not shutting up now. I'm going to say everything.
Yeah,
right.
And this is the party line, and the neighbors have itchy trigger
other
fingers.
Agents hear this in their helicopter, right?
And so Wright is triangulate that signal. Let's find out where this frequency. Look at this frequency. Let's find out where this call is coming from.
Now, at this point, you would think maybe Travers would decide just to give up on Cliff. But he doesn't. He's still also angry at Cliff.
Yes, he's still angry at Cliff, and he wants the money, but more, he's angry at Cliff. He's sort of ruining his plans. So he wants to take him out. So he gets up to that little bridge that Cliff was just on and walks up to it, and Cliff's nowhere to be found. He takes a couple steps out of the bridge, and all of a sudden, Cliff's hands pop up from under the slats of the bridge and grab his ankles and pull him down. Yep. And he breaks through the bridge, And we find out that this bridge is over some ice that is formed on this water.
Over this little water,
little river.
And Cliff ends up
breaking
under the ice. And Travers is still up on top of the ice. And he is following Cliff as he going downstream.
Now, here's what I don't get. The first thing Cliff does when he's under the water is take off his shirt and his sweater.
Yes. Mm-hmm. He does. This is true.
I mean, I get that in the sense of like if he gets out of the water, it's easier to warm up if you don't have wet clothes on.
Right. Yes.
But why is he taking them off underwater?
I don't know.
Are they weighing him down? Because it does look like it's a fairly heavy sweater. But, I mean, yeah, it just didn't make much sense to me why he stripped down when he got underwater.
I'm with you. But he does.
Especially since after he gets out of the water, he's got a shirt again. Well. And he didn't hang on to it when he was under there.
Continuity is not always thorough or adhere to.
So, anyway, so Travers is convinced that he's got Cliff right where he wants him.
Yep.
And
but what he does not know is that Cliff has his bolt gun.
Yes, he's got his bolt gun. But Travers aims his gun at Cliff. He's going to shoot him through the ice. And all of a sudden, Cliff pulls out his bolt gun. And he shoots a couple of bolts. A couple of anchor bolts through the ice and right into Travers' chest.
Yep. So he falls over, breaks to the ice, just as Hal's coming up, and Hal's able to rescue Cliff from the ice, and we just see Travers' dead body floating under the ice. It's kind of a cool shot.
Yeah, it is. It is. So the only bad guy left is Quaylen. And he has Jess hostage in the helicopter. In the rescue helicopter. Meanwhile, Walter Wright and his people are 8 minutes away.
Yep.
Because they were able to triangulate the signal.
And they say, we're 8 minutes away.
Yep.
And Quaylen is able to communicate to Hal and Cliff, like where he is, and that he has Jesse.
Yeah. So he tells them he tells them to meet him at the highest point near where they are.
Maybe the highest point. Yes.
The highest point near where you are. So Cliff tells Jesse, tell him to go to this place. I'll meet you there. And so Quaylen is flying the helicopter up, and he sees.
Okay, and again, once again, they know the faster way than the helicopter.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they do. So Cliff is standing at the edge of a cliff, and he's holding a backpack that he's put the money in. He's holding it out, and at Cliff's feet, is a ladder. There's like a rope ladder going down the side of this cliff.
I don't know why there's a ladder on the side of this cliff.
Especially since it doesn't go down very far. But yeah, so there's like the metal handrails at the top of the ladder that are, sticking into the top of the cliff, and then this rope ladder that goes down from that. And so he's standing at the top of that ladder. And he, calls out to Quaylen. He's like, if anything happens to her, the money's gone. I drop it. And, Quaylen is telling him, give me the money or she dies. Or you die. He's like, kill me and the money falls too. So Cliff convinces Quaylen to let her go. To fly over where it's safe and lower Jess down on the winch.
Yep. So he does.
So she gets down there. Hal gets her. And then he flies back over toward Cliff. with the cable still hanging down.
Still hanging.
And so he's there with the door open, and he tells Cliff to toss the money in, to toss the backpack into the helicopter. And Cliff tells him to get closer.
Closer.
So he comes in closer. And he's still not quite close enough, so he tells him to come closer. So he comes in closer. And Quaylen tells him to throw it in there. So Cliff, he throws it. But he throws it up instead of
into the rotors.
Throws it right up into the rotor, into the propeller, the top of the helicopter, and it shreds everything.
John Lithgow is now very angry.
It shreds the backpack full of money. And Quaylen is very angry. And he starts chasing Cliff with the helicopter.
Cliff is able to get a hold of that.
Cliff is running, and Jess keeps yelling to him, run.
Now, where is he going to really run to?
He's already running. You think he doesn't know what to do to try to get away from this helicopter?
This is a good point, yes.
He's just gonna,
That's a good point.
I think he's just going to stand there and let it chop him up?
Maybe.
Into tiny little pieces?
Perhaps.
So, yeah. No. So he dodges the helicopter and goes back. He grabs that cable and he hooks it onto that ladder. And then Quaylen, flies out a little bit and he's hooked on the ladder. So he can't go far. But it ends up knocking that metal handrail loose. And that sends Cliff plummeting off the side of the cliff until he grabs the ladder, and he's a cliffhanger again.
He's a cliff. This time he's hanging from a cliff on a ladder.
Yes.
Which is somehow staying well bolted into.
Yeah, it's like all the bolts are coming out of the side of the cliff except like down toward the bottom of it. Like, are they just using stronger bolts? Are there more of them or what? But everything else seems to be pulling right out of the cliff, like real easy.
Yep. But these other ones have cliff hanging.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, the helicopter at this point, it has started to fall.
Well, it hasn't fallen yet. It's starting to fly, but Hal comes running up. He's still got Delmar's shotgun. And it's got two rounds left in it. So he shoots it twice and hits the helicopter in spots where it is doing some damage. And so then the helicopter starts to fall.
And it falls down the cliff.
And it pulls the ladder. It also
decides to hang from a cliff.
Yes. So it's hanging from this ladder, from this rope ladder, that these bolts in that section of the ladder are, I don't know how something that's keeping them in there.
How this helicopter is still hanging, I don't know.
But
Cliff is still hanging, right? But we get to the point where Quaylen and Cliff get on top of the helicopter,
which is the bottom of the helicopter because it's upside down.
Actually, the bottom of the helicopter because it's upside down. Yes, because the top would have the propellers,
but the tail has been torn off. The tail's been torn off. The propeller's been torn off. So it's just the fuselage of the helicopter hanging upside down.
Yes, and they're just standing on there, and they're starting to have a fight on
every time they knock each other down, it just puts a little bit more pressure on those bolts that are holding the ladder into the side of the cliff. And earlier also what we missed when Cliff was sending Sarah across the cable, he told her, remember, keep your arms and legs inside the ride at all times, just as a joke.
That's right. Yes.
And we get a callback to that when he's fighting Quaylen. Because they're sharing blows, and then he tells Quaylen, remember to keep your arms and legs inside the ride at all times, and he hits him and knocks him down into, like, Quaylen, as he's falling off the side of this helicopter, swings down into it. Yes. So he's back inside the helicopter. And at this point, it's starting to pull the ladder off the side of the cliff, what's left of the ladder, off the side of the cliff. And so Cliff just steps off of the helicopter and grabs onto the side of the cliff. So he's a cliffhanger once more.
But at this point now, remember gravity.
Yes.
Talk about gravity. Gravity is finally taking hold of the helicopter.
Yes. Yes. Now that the good guys are off of the helicopter, gravity can do its thing.
I love this. I love what happens next. And it falls. It falls not a huge distance to the bottom, but a good distance that Quaylen would not survive this fall.
No, especially since once it hits, it blows up.
It's a massive explosion. Like what was in this helicopter to make it explode like this?
I don't know. Did they still have some of that C4 left? I don't know.
This type of explosion that when they make satires or parodies of action movies.
Yeah.
This is the type of explosion
they're mocking. Explosion that they're mocking. Yes.
It's a massive fireball. And so now you just have Jesse and Hal and Cliff.
And Cliff's
at the top of the cliff.
He's climbing back up the cliff. And Hal and Jesse help him up. And now they're just waiting. And then we see Wright and his guys.
Good friends again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So Hal has forgiven Cliff for any wrongdoings in the past. They're friends again. And
so they're just hanging there, and
we see this helicopter show up, and we hear Wright's voice over the radio, and he's asking them to identify themselves. And so Hal tells them, this is Hal Tucker, Rocky Mountain Rescue.
He's like, I like how he's just like, oh, thanks for showing up. It's like he was expecting them or thinking that they should have been there quicker.
Yeah.
But
he's like,
why would he have that expectation?
Like, this is Hal Tucker, Rocky Mountain Rescue. If you're looking for Quaylen, look about 4,000 feet down. He's under a helicopter.
He's the one. He'll be the one wearing a helicopter.
Yeah, that's right. He'll be the one wearing a helicopter.
It can also be a hat.
It can also be a hat.
Right doesn't even like just seems like
okay cool.
Well, thanks, just man. Hang on. We'll have you.
So we'll go over to help. We'll
doesn't ask about Travers.
Nope.
Right?
No, he's like, you three just sit tight. We'll send somebody up to get you. And then they fly off and the credits roll. So they just leave them on the top of a mountain. In classic 90s movie style, they just leave them there. So many movies in the 90s ended like this.
Yes.
Or, they're safe, rescue is coming, but they just leave them there.
The only thing that's missing is after they leave them there, as the credits start to roll, is some deep cut alternative song.
Yep.
But that's it. Do they get back off the cliff, or did they just decide to hang out there the rest of their lives?
Or did they just decide to climb down?
They could just climb down. They are cliffhangers after all.
Yeah.
But at least the movie that's cliffhanger does end on the side of a cliff.
And it does somewhat end on a cliffhanger because it leaves them on there.
You don't know exactly
leaves them
how
up there. You don't
down.
know. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a very appropriate title for this movie.
It is. Last year we talked about how Cowboys and Aliens was one of the most appropriate titles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so is Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger might be a little bit more appropriate than Cowboys and Aliens. But, Cowboys and Aliens, that is exactly what the movie is about. It's about cowboys and aliens. So, I don't know. Maybe they're, like, even with most appropriate titles.
Yes. Twister and Twisters are also
yes. Now, Twisters is more appropriate than Twister is because there was not just one Twister.
Because Twister does have multiple Twisters, but it's a singular title.
Yeah.
Twisters, which is the plural,
has multiple
features
Twisters.
multiples as well. So,
yeah.
But that is Rennie Harlin's Cliffhanger from 1993.
Yes. Very, very enjoyable movie.
Yeah. Again, like
very enjoyable. Not Stallone's
the
best.
opening scene is so
not the most classic Stallone movie. It is a classic, but it's not his most classic.
Right. But it's a good example of over the top 90s.
Yes.
Especially in that period where everything was a clone of Die Hard.
Yes. And speaking of over the top, I did notice when they sent Cliff up to get the first case, he flipped his hat backwards just like he does in Over the Top before he climbed up.
There you go. He does. Yes, he does put it backwards.
Maybe we should do Over the 90s. Top sometime.
Maybe. But yeah, classic early 90s over the top action movie. Especially those that were in the mode of the Die Hard on a Die Hard on a mountain.
Yes, Die Hard on a mountain.
So, yeah, some memorable stuff in it.
Yeah.
Plus, we got Michael Rooker. We haven't really talked about much very often.
No, we should do more of his movies. He's great. I love Michael Rooker.
Mm-hmm. He's a very good actor. So, yeah, it's if you haven't seen it, I would recommend give it a look. Maybe it's your type of thing. Maybe it's not. Especially if you like the action movies, you should check it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's no Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, but
no,
I mean, it is Stallone. It's classic Stallone. But yeah, definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say.
Me either. So, as always, if you enjoy what you're hearing, go to our social media. We are on Facebook and Instagram and Threads. It is Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. The and is spelled out, A-N-D. It's not an ampersand like it's the name of the podcast. We're also on X or Twitter. That is R&T Cinematic. And then you can also check out our Letterboxd. Read some of the reviews that we've done on movies. Some we have done on the podcast. Some we haven't done. Some we will do. Some we won't do. But that is Cine Adventure or Cine Adventure. C-I-N-E Adventure. And yeah, send us an email. Also, if you would like to, let us know what you thought of Cliffhanger. Do you think it was an appropriate title, or do you think it should have been named something else? Maybe Bad Accent or something like that. But anyway, you can send us an email at robandtonycinematicadventure@gmail.com. Once again, the and is spelled out, A-N-D. It's not an ampersand like the name of the podcast. But yeah, let us know what you thought. What did you think of Cliffhanger? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What are your thoughts on it? We want to hear from you. And yeah, so just go to our social media, give us a like and a follow, go to your favorite podcast app, give us or subscribe, give us a good rating, good review, comment on our stuff. We love hearing from you. We like commenting back too. So if you comment something to us, then there's a good chance one of us will comment back. At least one of us will.
We'll say something.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how we move up in the rankings, in the search and the recommendations, all that, so that we can find more people that want to hear us talking about these movies, because we love talking about them. But anyway, next time we got something fun.
We do.
Why don't you tell these fine folks what we have coming up on this next episode?
We decided to kind of do two things, right? The Olympics are coming up, and so there are multiple Olympic-related movies. And this time last year, we also had our good buddy Tim Robinson on, so we thought we'd invite him back to talk about another sports movie. Last year, we did The Mighty Ducks with him, and this year with the Olympics coming up, he is such a hockey fan. We decided to do one of the most famous winter hockey teams that the U.S. has put out, the 1980 Olympic men's hockey team, and their story that was made into the 2004 movie Miracle with Kurt Russell.
Yep. So next time we are going to have Tim on with us again as our guest, and we're going to talk about Miracle. Now, this is a movie I have not seen, so it'll be fun to watch it. And
I've seen it before. It's a good movie. And it's a good drama, but also kind of like that aspiring sports type story.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be a good discussion.
Yeah, and I think the best person to talk about it with is Tim. So
Tim, the dude loves hockey, and he probably knows a lot about the team, and so he definitely will be able to fill in a lot about the different personalities that will show up.
Yes. So
because we haven't done many movies that have been based on a true story.
No, we haven't. But yeah, no, I think Tim is the best guest that we could have on for this episode.
So
I think he's the most appropriate to bring on. So I'm looking forward to it too. So join us next time for Miracle.